Number 3 is similar to number 1, but we're going to need to go a couple steps further. So I'm going to go through and figure out my charges. Sodium's a +1, bromine's a -1. This is an ionic compound, so they're going to be following what they do on the periodic table. Chlorine is alone with nothing written on it. On the right-hand side, sodium's still a +1. Now that chlorine's in a compound with a +1, it must be a -1, and bromine is 0. So looking at what changed, bromine changed from -1 to 0. And then sodium changed, sodium did not change. Chlorine changed from 0 to -1. Which one of those is a reduction? 0 to -1 is a reduction, so we would say that Cl2 was reduced. Here you may answer Cl2 or Cl, but you shouldn't show a charge on it. The one that's oxidized was the bromine, and on the left-hand side, its charge is -1. For the agents, these go together and these go together, but we answer the whole compound instead. So my oxidizing agent is Cl2, my reducing agent is NaBr. For the half reactions, my half reactions are going to show what is changing. So one of my half reactions was Br- became Br2. My other half reaction was Cl2 became Cl-. I'm going to need to add electrons to balance, but first I want to make sure that my atoms are balanced. I want to have 2 chlorines there and 2 bromines there. Electrons are negative, and I'm going to add them to balance the charges out. So bromine went from -1 to 0. To do so, to go from negative to neutral, it had to get rid of some of the negatives it had. So it would have been spitting out electrons. How many electrons would it have spit out? 2 of them, because that would balance the charge. Another way to think of it is I need to add electrons to one side of the reaction, either here or here, so that the charge on each side is the same. Right now, on the left-hand side, my charge is a -2. Here, my charge is a 0. So which side needs the negatives? This side does. How many of them? 2. For the other reaction, chlorine becomes a -1 by picking up electrons. And each chlorine had to pick up an electron, so we would have a 2. How many moles of electrons are transferred? The answer is 2.